So I want to give you guys my honest opinion on the new Champions League format. If you guys don't know, going into 2024-2025 season, the Champions League is changing. The way we know the Champions League today will no longer be the same. And this all came into, works once everything happened with the Super League. If you guys are a little bit confused, let me catch you up. Football went through this very, very big thing where their Super League is trying to become a thing. And what the Super League would be is all the massive European clubs go into this league where you really, realistically, it's hard for the big teams to get relegated in this very amazing Super League they want to put together. I'm not really for the Super League because I believe in smaller leagues being able to, smaller leagues have a purpose in football. And I want to explain to you what I mean by this. Teams like Ajax, Benfica, FC Porto, Sporting, teams like West Ham and all of these teams, they cannot spend the money or compete with the teams like Man City, Real Madrid, Barcelona. We know this. But what they can do is give young players opportunities. What they can do is go to Argentina, to Brazil, and find talent and bring talent to Europe and develop this talent. And then eventually the bigger teams come in and take the talent. But what this does is gives enjoyment to fans of these small leagues because you get to watch very, very talented players develop and become stars. And it gives this value to smaller countries and smaller teams. And it's a system that's worked forever. And when you have the Super League, this is not as much of a good playing ground, because let's say a team like Benfica or Porto make the Super League. For you to compete with teams like Real Madrid, with teams like Barcelona consistently, more than just in the Champions League, like let's say it's an actual league, you're not going to be able to give those players a type of opportunity anymore, because the chance of you getting relegated or the chance of you getting dogged by these massive teams, you're not going to be able to give those type of players the talent, the opportunity, in my opinion, that you would give them, in games against smaller teams in the leagues, in regular countries. Does that make sense? Anyways, that's a whole nother conversation. Anyways, this is the Champions League.
Did you know that there's a new format for the UEFA Champions League starting from the 2024-25 season? That's right, the competition is getting bigger and better with 36 teams instead of 32. The biggest change is that the group stage is being replaced by a single league table. This means that each team will play 8 games, 4 home and 4 away. The top 8 teams in the league table will go straight to the knockout stage, while the teams finishing in 9th and 24th place will compete in a 2-legged playoff to secure their path to the last 16. The knockout phase remains the same, with 2-legged ties until the final.
I like it. It in the grand scheme of things, it sounds nice. We got to watch it play out. I'm a little bit nervous for football because right now in modern Europa League, Champions League football that you see, sometimes you'll see teams like Manchester United get eliminated. Or in rare cases, you'll see Barcelona go to the Europa League like they did a couple seasons ago. There is rare, like it happens, right, where a big team goes out. I feel with the league now, it's not going to happen. I feel like placing top 8 for big teams like Real Madrid, Barcelona, Man City is going to be pretty easy. And then depending on their matchups, but I would imagine the matchups are going to be the same. Like I would imagine the matchups are good. The way they do the matchups is going to be some type of seeding where like if you win your country, you're in a certain pot. I would imagine that's how it plays out. I'm not sure. I don't know the rules to it, but I would imagine it's going to be something like that. So at the end of the day, I just see this being a rich get richer. I'm going to be honest with you. I see the big teams, this benefiting the big teams, and the middle teams not benefiting that much. Again, the Ajaxes, the Benficas, the Portos, the Sportings, all of those teams, the Bayer Leverkusens, the teams that don't spend as much as the bigs every year. I see this not benefiting them as much. Could be wrong here. I could be fully wrong. I would imagine, being a Benfica supporter, I would imagine that my Benfica needs to find a way to make the playoffs every year. Or try to get into top 8, but the main thing is to make the playoffs for the next round, I would imagine. Because when you see the 8 teams, you think to yourself, Man City, just hypothetically speaking, if they're all in the Champions League, Man City, Barcelona, Real Madrid, Liverpool, okay, that's 4, right? That you kind of already got going on there. Bayern makes it 5. you'll most likely have the AC Milan, the Inter, the Juve. So let's say AC Milan and Inter, or let's take one, Inter. You see what I'm saying? It's not leaving a lot of teams left for the smaller end teams to go through, if that makes sense. You have Atletico Madrid is probably one of those top 8 teams. Another team that I left out. I'm not really seeing a lot of space in that top 8 for other teams to sneak in. The Ajaxes, even the Dortmund, like these type of teams. How do you sneak in to this top 8? It's going to be tough, depending on how the matchup. So I'm a little bit nervous that this is the rich get richer, and it really this is really if I'm being honest with y'all, please don't take this the wrong way. A lot of the Super League teams that are in favor of it, like the big headed teams, this is UEFA going, hey man, this is so you guys never get eliminated type thing. This is a system that's easier to make sure that you guys are always there. And for UEFA guys, it's all about money. So for them, having Barcelona get eliminated or Manchester United get eliminated, that's not good for money. At the end of the day, having Manchester United in the Champions League knockout stages is important, because whether you like to admit it or not, Manchester United fans bring a lot of fans, a lot of money, a lot of stadiums being sold out, a lot of jerseys being bought, a lot of revenue on TV. So at the end of the day, having Manchester United in the Champions League knockouts, having Barcelona in the Champions League knockout, having top teams in the Champions League knockout is very important. Very important. They would much rather have a Manchester United there, or a Barcelona, or a Bayern over an Ajax or a Benfica, or because these teams are going to bring fans, but not the type of not as much viewership as Man United is going to bring, or anything like this. These bigger countries, right? So at the end of the day, that scares me a little bit, but I understand why UEFA's doing it. They're doing it for their pocket, to make sure that the good teams are always there. And then I also feel like they're doing it so they could be like to the big teams, like, hey man, like here's this. So we'll see how it plays out. Like Real Madrid plays Bayern week 1, and they got to play Barcelona week 3, and they got okay. Now that's crazy. But if you're matching the bigs against the middles in most of the games except for 2, that's a problem. That's a problem, because it's going to be easy pickings. So if we see Manchester United, if we see Man City have to play Barcelona and Madrid and a Bayern or something like that, okay, yeah, now all of a sudden I can see big teams getting eliminated, and this is good for everybody. But if it's not the bigs taking on the bigs, and it's just the bigs playing the bigs one time, and then I don't really see that benefiting anyone but the bigs. So at the end of the day, it depends how this plays out, bro. If the bigs can play the bigs and it's all random, it's all pots. I don't know the information there. If it's all pots and it's all random, this is great for football. We're about to see some bangers, bro. You know what I mean? If you're an unlucky team and you got to play Arsenal and Man United, Arsenal, Madrid, Barca, all in the same. Whoa, that's crazy for football, right? That's going to be wild, bro. You see City have to play 5 big teams and 1 mid team. You're like, whoa. Right? But if it's just this, you play 1 big team once and the rest of mid teams, that's a little bit of a, you know what I mean? That's for the rich to get richer. We'll see how it plays out. That's my honest reaction. This could be amazing for football, or this could be a disaster. I don't know what you got from this video, but pretty much what I'm trying to tell you is, if this is made for the bigs and they don't face each other often, I don't see the point in this. Now, if it's made for the bigs to play the bigs more often, and it's exciting for the fans, for the neutral supporters that want to watch big games, I love that, because a lot of the Champions League group stage this year was dead. Let's be honest. A lot of the games were dead. Even if you look at the knockout stages, a lot of the games were dead. Like, for real. If you look at the knockouts, a few of the games were dead. Not fun to watch. Boring games. So, at the end of the day, lads, if it's big teams taking on big teams, we're there for it, bro. We are here for it, man. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. But I want everybody to understand one thing, bro. The mid-table team, the smaller league countries, yeah, the mid-table teams are important to our sport, because those teams give players opportunities, right? We don't get the Vinicius Juniors. We don't get the Rodrigos. We don't get the amazing players of this world, the Jude Bellinghams. You don't get these type of players unless there's teams out there like Dortmund, teams out there like Ajax, teams out there like Benfica, that give players opportunity to show themselves in the Champions League, in the Europa League. And you don't get opportunities like this without teams like that. Those teams are important, man. So thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate y'all. That's my reaction to the new Champions League. It could be a great thing. We just got to see how it looks on paper, right? If it's real where big teams play big teams, we're going to have some real fun watching football going forward. Hope y'all enjoyed it. I'll catch you next time. Bye, guys.